Welcome to another episode of Day in My Tech Life. This episode is going to be very special because we got a special guest, Aristotle. Welcome to the podcast. I've been wanting to do this with you for a long time because your background is very interesting. But can you tell people like how you even got into tech? Because I feel like a lot of people don't even know you were in tech before you got into trading stocks.
So step one was I knew that I wasn't going to go to college. I was about 17 years old, right before I turned 18. I knew I was going to graduate, and I was going to be an engineer in college. I was going to go to Kansas State University in Manhattan, Kansas, but I knew that I didn't want to take out student loans. So I started researching what are the number one jobs to make money outside the Army. And number one was like some, nuclear engineer. But number two was the most interesting, information technology, IT.
Mm-hmm.
So this was back in 2014.
Okay.
So next thing you know, I go asking people about it, and it's crazy because it's the 25 series in the Army. So 25 Bravo was information technology specialist. And then I don't know the rest, but I know they're all like communications and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So 25 Bravo, I had to score high on the ASVAB, and I ended up taking the test, and I ended up getting tutored by somebody from West Point.
Okay.
And then he ended up telling me to go get the book for dummies.
Mm-hmm.
So I studied for it, and then I scored high enough to get 25 Bravo information technology. Then I went to AIT. And it was a range of things we learned at AIT. So, and it's funny because I would love people who never been in the Army to know what we did in tech.
Yeah.
So we went through like a 6-month program.
Mm-hmm.
So we went through, first was A+, we learned that.
Mm-hmm.
Then we learned CCNA. Then we learned A+, Security Plus, CCNA. And then it was one more, like, help desk and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So we went through a whole training, and it was 6 months, and that was in Augusta.
Okay.
And that was in Augusta, Georgia, at Fort Gordon.
Yep.
At Fort Gordon. So I was there for about 6 months, and then I ended up getting out of Fort Gordon, AIT, and then I went to go be at Fort Stewart, and I went to a communications place, ESB. So it was 63rd ESB. I don't even know what ESB stands for.
Yeah, those was a bunch of acronyms.
Yeah, like the military. Yeah, but yeah, when I got there, they pretty much in 2 years after that, they wanted me to get the top secret clearance.
Yep.
I didn't finish the process because I learned trading. And I was like, man, I found something else. But transparently, it was too long.
Yeah.
I didn't feel like filling out the paperwork. So that's what made me take trading serious. But I was still going to get out and get a good job because I had a Security Plus cert. And they would bring civilians to the Army base to teach us Security Plus for like 3 days, and then we would take the test.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's what a lot of people don't realize is that, like, in the military, they literally do put y'all through that whole training process. You come in, you don't know anything, but you just got to score high enough on that first test. But, so you basically didn't want to do top secret because the paperwork, the SF-86 was too long, right?
Way too long.
Yeah.
and it's crazy because that was the reason I was trying to talk to Asia, my woman, right? Because I was like 20, and I was like, look, I need you to help me fill out this paperwork.
Yeah.
I ain't, cause she was like the smartest, responsible person I knew at that time. So I was like, I need help with this.
Yeah.
But yeah,
no, that paperwork is long. Like I recently had to do mine again.
Mm-hmm.
It took me a whole month because you have to put down all the international places you travel to. So since I lived overseas, I had 15 different trips and countries I had to list.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, from the past 7 years. And I was like, shoot, I gotta go back and go find it because you gotta get the dates and everything. It's a whole lot. So yeah,
they wanted to know every house you stayed in, every neighbor, and every workplace you worked in, and every boss.
Yep.
And I was like, there's no way I'm gonna be able to find that.
Yep.
You get what I'm saying? Like I weren't gonna be able to find that. So and they wanted to know all your school teachers as well. And I'm like, I don't know this information. But it would have been easier if I would have came from just a small town. But because I moved around so much, I forfeited the paperwork. I was like, well, I quit.
Oh, really?
I couldn't because I was like, I'm from Atlanta.
Yeah.
I'm over here, and then I went to Kansas, and now I'm here in
Yeah.
Fort Stewart. I got way too many references
Yeah.
to list, so I was just like, forget it.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like they've changed it up a lot. Like when it comes to like where you live at and stuff now. Now it's only the past 3 years. So I was feeling the same way. I'm like, yo, I don't know anybody from overseas. Like that was 5 years ago.
Dang,
Like
I would have had that.
yeah, exactly.
But they handed it to me.
It
I
was
just
back then. It was like paper or it was online. The online paperwork.
so like it was paper.
Yeah.
They gave me a packet back in the day.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yours is online now.
Yeah, it's online now, but yeah,
Yeah.
back in the day, like when I first did, I first did mine back in 2010. It was paper. Did it in 2017. Then it started. Now it's online. So
Right. And they also told us transitioning outside the military is actually easier than somebody who went to college for it, because we were working on actual switches.
Yep.
And we were working on we were doing like whatever CCNA was. I remember we used to have I forgot those yellow cords that we used to plug and play into the switch.
yeah,
and the routers.
yeah, the Ethernet cables,
Yeah, the
and the
Ethernet
fiber optics
cables.
cables.
All that, right?
Yeah, but they trained you up to learn how to do it. So if you get out, you already have that training. So that's why some people
Yeah.
they'll opt to go to the military because you get the training, you get the clearance, and then you already had a job experience, so you get out and you can do that. But you decided to just quit and just focus on trading instead. So like, how much money did you start with trading?
About like, because I kept pouring into it every week. The correct answer is $100. But
okay.
the when I finally transitioned and put it into Robinhood, I put up about 5 to 7K at first.
Yeah.
So I never put up all of my. That wasn't all that I had. I just was like, I'm gonna just put 7K in there. You get what I'm saying? And see
Yeah.
what it do. And I turned into a 14. But I was documenting the process on my actual Instagram.
Okay.
And when you 21 years old with 14,000, it's in the Army. Sergeants don't even have that saved up.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? Like a lot of all my leaders didn't have 14K on them. And then when I took that account to 30K,
Yeah.
that's when everybody was on some like, okay, whatever you're doing, I need to learn. And I was
Yeah.
also a barber at the same time, because that's what I would throw the money in. That's what so I would throw in 3K a month. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah. So you were still doing that while in the Army.
Yeah.
So like, how long were you trading while you were in the Army? Like, what amount did you get to when you were like, all right, I'm gonna be done soon, right? Because you got your contracts, right?
Right.
You waited till your contract was up to ETS.
Well, I was a millionaire before I left the Army.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So I joined the Army in 2014, and I got out March 20th, 2020, right before the pandemic.
Wow.
So you gotta think, I was a millionaire right before I got out.
Right.
You get what I'm saying?
No, so how was that though? Like you being in the military, you already a millionaire. You got to take these orders from people that they're asking you for advice, they asking you for help. Like how was that?
It was both rewarding and it was both stressful, because on one side, everywhere I go, I'm getting praise. You get what I'm saying? But on the other side, I'm fighting legal battles because of the things that I had to do in order to buy time to be able to trade. So I made certain deals with certain people to get off work. And because they didn't commit to trading, they tried to get me in trouble.
Yeah.
So that's how I was able to be able to trade, because they would let me off work so that I could, if I would help them make some money. See what I'm saying?
That's crazy. I never heard of nothing like that before. So in the military, they was basically like, hey, you can either come in late or leave early if you teach me how to trade.
The deal was, you don't have to go on any missions. If we deploy, you don't have to go. If anything happens, any field, any extra training, you just stay home. We'll let you make your money. Cause by that time I had bought a Camaro. I had bought my wife like 3 cars in a row. I'm just going crazy. Everybody hearing it. So like at that time, if you had the newest Mustang or the newest Camaro, you a celebrity on post.
Right, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Just with that was our version of a Lamborghini.
Yeah,
you know what I'm talking about? So I got the 2019 in 2019.
Yeah.
But I'm a specialist. And then I go buy my wife a car.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I was the 4th rank. I was a specialist. And you name it, captains, anybody, they were like, man, we know. So I was locally famous, and I was also a barber.
Yeah.
So, I'm cutting. Before that, I was cutting everybody hair, no matter what rank. So it was like that too. I had already built a popularity from barbering, and I learned how to market from barbering, because that's how I would get my clientele, from posting on yard sale pages. But I would have to put together this collage, and I would have to trial and error and see which one get me the most clients and stuff and that. So that skill set translated with social media. So people are like, how the hell how do you know how to manage social media so well? Because that's just what I used to do. Like how I do right now, I got a lot to say. It's like, that's what I've been doing since 2016, but just on Facebook.
Right.
But I just decided to create a page just for this.
Okay.
Because the people who were following me were people local that I knew from Atlanta, from the military, from high school. So I really wanted to switch up. I wanted an audience dedicated to people who just wanted to know about investing. And I didn't even know I was ahead of my time. It was just a passion of mine. Like trading and investing was a straight up passion first, before it was a niche or I was selling something.
Right.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah. So how did you pick like trading? Because you had got the top secret paperwork, you got the paperwork to do it. And then like, how did you come to say, all right, I'm gonna learn how to trade. Like that's gonna be my way out of this.
I Googled how to make money. Everything starts with a Google. Think about it. I found my job from Google.
Yeah.
Which jobs make the most money out of the military? I go to the forum. I read all of them.
Yeah.
25 Bravo, information technology specialist, 25 Bravo. And
Yeah.
this back in 2014.
Yeah.
I follow the same process. How do I make money from my phone? I go to all the forums. They list. Fill out surveys, all that bullshit. You already know what
I
I'm talking
did that
about.
before.
And it worked.
I made a little bit of money. Like it wasn't much. Yeah, it wasn't much at all. Like that was back in the day, like 2010. Like
Exactly.
Yeah,
so
like,
they was like, fill out surveys.
yeah.
Invest. Sell lemonade, whatever, right? So,
Yeah.
but every forum said investing. So I'm like, okay, no matter what, I see surveys and investing. That's the easiest way to get money while I'm at work.
Yeah.
From my phone. So I go down a rabbit hole. First thing I do is download this. Now this is back in 2016.
Yeah.
I download this app called Stash. I didn't understand it. I'm buying little stuff. I'm losing, making $10, $5.
Yeah.
I didn't care what I lost. I just wanted to figure this out. And then it's crazy because IML, Forex, they was trying to enter when that first came out. They was trying to get me on it. And this was back in 2015.
Trying to get you to start trading forex.
But I didn't understand it. They was doing candlestick classes and stuff.
Yeah.
But now that hindsight 2020, dude didn't even know what he was talking about. You know what I'm saying? He was just, they would set up Zoom meetings and stuff. So I really got introduced to it in 2015. 2016, I was like, still trying. And then 2017 is when it all started to like, okay, now I got to put together a plan for this. But I've been trying, like, first heard of it 2015, 2016, and then 2017, I was like, okay. But it all started with a Google, just curiosity.
Yeah.
But I self-taught myself, though.
So you self-taught yourself, and then like eventually you made it to Robinhood, because I remember Robinhood was really popping off, I think around that time when it first came out.
Right.
So you had found Robinhood, and I think that was like literally like the easiest way to trade options back then, right?
Still is to this day, but
Yeah.
yeah, Robinhood. But the thing was, I wasn't even on the options at first. I was just trading shares. And then when I created the Aristotle investment account, I would follow the hashtags, like Robinhood hashtag, stock hashtag, option hashtag, not option hashtag, but stock hashtag. But what I would see was people would do option plays, and I couldn't understand for the life of me how or what they were doing or what this was about, anything. So I just kept seeing it. And this was back in 2017, but I'm still I'm just buying shares, but it's working.
Yeah.
And I was trading Canadian marijuana at the time, and it's working. I'm making $3K a month, $4K a month.
Yeah.
Off penny stocks, regular stocks, and Canadian marijuana at the time. So I just kept seeing options. And then I eventually picked up on it. You get what I'm saying? I Googled it, searched it, whatever. And it was a wrap from there. Once I made $300 my first option trade.
With how much money?
It was Square.
Yeah, off of Square.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that was one of my first option trades too.
I put up like 700, made 300.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
off Square. The first time, and then it was Apple, my second one, and then my first $1,000 play was a put option on Tilray, which is a Canadian marijuana company.
Yeah,
I made 1,400 on it, and I played a descending triangle. I remember it was a pattern. So people wonder where the patterns come from, because that's what I would trade options with back in the day.
Yeah.
I would trade triangles, bullish, the falling wedge.
Yeah.
That was my favorite thing back in the day. Falling wedge, triangle, bull flags, and that was my favorite.
Yeah, yeah. So can you explain to people like what options are if they've never heard of it before? You know, a lot of people they invest in their 401k and stuff like that, but they don't really go into stock trading or options trading. Can you explain that to them?
So option trading is contractual agreements. So to make it simple, we go straight up with our options. We buy calls or puts. Calls bet on the stock to go up, puts bet on the stock to go down. So if you were buying shares and you were trying to buy it for the projection that a company would go up, in options you would buy a call.
Right.
If you were selling shares, then you would buy puts in options. So that's all it really is. But you know that, but I was explaining that to the audience, of course. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, now you started out at that point, like, but how did you get to like $1 million before you got out of the military? Like, what was that process?
It was
like?
a combination of things.
Yeah.
So you gotta think, I'm making $4K a month in the Army,
Yeah, yeah.
and then I'm making $3K a month cutting hair, and then I got a book. I was making $4 to $10K a month, and then 1 month it was 25, 30K per month at certain times that the book dropped. So I'm making 20K at one point from the book. I'm making 4K from the Army. I eventually stopped cutting hair because I was making so much from the book. The book replaced the haircut. And then it was really the book that really gave me that starting capital to really run ads and really keep reinvesting into the company. Because I wrote the book after I made 30,000, because everybody in the military, so I wrote 2 books.
Yeah.
The first book was just for soldiers. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I would only sell to barber client, and it was $5 via Cash App. I would just send the soldiers my book. And then the second book I dropped January 25th, 2019. So that's the book I made $500,000 off of in 2019.
And what was that about?
That was the Aristotle Investing Guide. That was my first book.
Okay.
It exploded across the stock market. So let me explain. In 2019, there wasn't a such thing as hating at that time.
Right.
So meaning, like, I wrote a book, the whole option trading community supported it. So that's something that people don't know, but I know, and people was back then know.
Right.
So my book, people would just put the book inside of their chat and say, hey, it's this dude named Aristotle out, support him. So people who had Discords would put my book inside of their Discord and tell their trading community to buy my book.
Right.
So that was one way I was exploding. So that was so every time they get a new member, I would make another $25 per member that they would get. So like I said, I was making a 30K, 20K a month type thing. Right, while I'm in the Army.
That's
so
crazy. They didn't have an issue with you making all this money?
Yeah, hell yeah.
Like, what were they saying?
Yeah, they were saying a lot. Like, they were trying to, yeah. But I ended up beating it, because the same people who was trying it ended up were the people who let me off work anyways. So because they tried to renege and they didn't know that, they thought I was dumb. I already knew the laws and regulations. Like, you can't do that. You're not supposed to fraternize with me in the first place. And you're saying that I missed work, but tell them why I was able to make all this money, because you let me off work. I'm trading at home, full, and still collecting 4K a month.
That's crazy.
You get what I'm saying? So I'm living a life, goddamn. I'm making. It gave me more time to barber, so I can keep. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So by the time I got out the military, like no cap, I was making about $250,000 a month.
That's crazy. That's crazy. I can't even imagine that. Like, you making that much money in the military. Did you ever like use your VA loans or anything like that while you were in the military?
Still haven't used it.
You still haven't used it?
To this day, because
why not?
the house I bought was too much at the time. So I bought my first house for $600K
Yeah.
in 2020, in June 2020. But you gotta think I started Honey Drip in 2018 as well.
Yeah.
So Honey Drip was started because people were like, okay, can I just pay you to tell me what you buying and selling every day? Because
Yeah.
at first I'm just posting games.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But like I'm a 21-year-old who looks relatable posting games. And I got 30 racks, 50 racks in the investment account.
Right.
And I got this book out. So then people was like, okay, can you sell, can you sell a mentorship or something? The first week I dropped that, and it was $100 a month. The first week I dropped it, I had 10 customers. First week. Within a month, I had about 100 customers.
So you was already at 10K your first month.
Yeah. So I was making 10K a month.
Yeah.
Plus 20, 30K off the book.
Yeah.
Plus 4K from the Army. You get my drift?
Yeah.
So I was making 30s, 40s, 50s in 2019.
Yeah. So you just what? So you didn't use a loan to buy a house at all? You just bought it cash.
No, I got a loan. Yeah,
yeah.
I spent 200K down payment.
Okay. Yeah. Because I think the VA loans, I think they
It was 500K back then.
yeah, I think they made them a little bit bigger now. I think it's
Yeah.
like 1.1 or something like that.
It's
I
bullshit.
think.
Everything fucking happens when I get out. I swear. Everything, dog.
But I mean, you can still take advantage of it if you buy another property. You can still use the VA loan, so
Yeah.
you might as well. I mean, no money down at all. So,
Right.
But I mean, I know you don't need it, but yeah. So
I'm gonna
but-
use it. Hell yeah, I'm gonna
yeah,
use it.
yeah, it's crazy. I seen there's somebody on TikTok. He's a captain and he's a multimillionaire. He got a Ferrari and he's a captain in the military. I don't know if you've seen him, but he buys a bunch of properties and rents them out. And he started doing it with VA loans and stuff like that. So it's crazy to see like how far you can go just based off like the military and taking the money and
And still collecting that check.
Yeah.
And he gonna retire.
Exactly.
And he an entrepreneur while he in.
Yep.
Yes, he's set.
Yeah, he's set for real. So it's I see people like sometimes they try to like come for you to talk about like, oh, you don't know much about tech. I think that happened once before, right? Somebody was trying to say that like you didn't know much about tech online, and
Right.
then you had to break it down. That's when I had first found out that you were a 25B.
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. Like I mean, so. Does that happen to you a lot? Like people just thinking like, oh, you just
Nah,
successful because you just got a Discord or something.
Nah, to be honest, I really don't be caring. I'm just
Yeah.
a troll too.
Yeah, I
Like,
see you
know what I'm
trolling
saying?
on Twitter.
Yeah, I like to troll, so it's like I'm bored. I'm rich. I ain't got nothing to do.
Yeah.
So it's like, so I just be like, okay, well, let me troll today.
Mm-hmm.
And two, I take a page out of people like Kanye West book.
Mm-hmm.
People like Charleston White. You have to make yourself a polarizing character in order to make a lot of money.
Yeah.
So I have to have a sense of troll and like witness and game dropping. Like it's all purpose.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? Like in reality, I wish I just want to just sit at home and do nothing and play video games.
Yeah.
But I still got to go hustle. So drawing attention because I would rather have debates about money, troll about that than anything else. But as far as the IT thing, it's just people are ignorant.
Yeah.
If they don't know you, they're going to make assumptions. So he probably assumed because I do trading, I never did IT.
Yeah,
But I was trying to tell him, bro, I have been in Security Plus, A Plus, had a top secret clearance, all this stuff before you.
Right.
It's just I didn't pursue that. You
Right,
get what I'm saying?
Yeah, you just decided to go a different way.
Yeah, but I don't take no offense to it, like at all.
Yeah, definitely. So I guess where do you see, Honey Drip and everything that you're going, like where do you see that headed to?
I mean, that's something I battle with every day.
Yeah.
It's really not about where is it headed. It's about, do I have the strength to keep it growing? Not the strength, but asking God for the strength to keep it growing. You get what I'm saying? So, I would say where it's headed is just improving and improving, adding tech, reinvesting the money to make it better instead of staying stagnant and getting comfortable. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
one thing I believe is you should never be a comfortable business.
Right.
In order for any business to thrive, because people don't realize this, because sometimes I gotta explain it. Like I'm not like the average person. Like I don't have a business based on who I am. This business is based on performance.
Yeah.
Honey Drip is a performance-based business. So we're providing signals, but we provide the most accurate signals.
Gotcha.
We provide the best education because we are the top group of traders in the world right now, right? So we have the best chance for any beginner right now to come in and learn trading, period. And we are the standard. So you may not have known, but if you are in another group chat, they are 9 times out of 10 a replica of my brain and what I created, of my style and everything, my layout, all of that, right?
Right.
Like I am the standard for option trading group chat. Why? Because I'm the first to do it.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? Like, especially in the black community, like option trading Discord, first.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So if somebody wanted to get started today with options trading, like, you know, what should they do to get started? Whether they're in the military or maybe they're somebody that work in tech, like what can they do to get started in options or just regular stock trading?
Education is first.
Yeah.
And then you got to know what it takes to be profitable. Then you got to listen to somebody who is profitable. So I would say the first thing is, first is the basics. What are options? Candlesticks, technical analysis. You're going to need technical analysis to trade options, period. Because options is an entry game, it's timing.
Yeah.
So the candlesticks, support and resistance, all of that is important. And then fundamental analysis. So you got to learn, once you tackle the beast of technicals, because that's just going to streamline you and get you in quickly. You can actually make money from options without knowing no fundamentals.
Okay.
You're not going to make money long term.
Right.
Or leaps without fundamentals, though.
Yeah.
That's the only thing.
Yeah. Let's talk about leaps real quick. Like, what do you think? Like, do you think leaps is like the best way for people to invest in options, or do you think like day trading options?
For sure, leaps. Like leaps would be what Bitcoin is to option traders.
Got you. So what are leaps for the people that don't know?
It's an actual acronym for it, but I just tell people they are long dated options. You can go 1 year or 2 year out contracts. But leaps are only, here's the thing, they're like treasures. When you catch them, you catch them.
Right.
But they don't come every day. But people want them to come every day because they got FOMO from the people who making money.
Yeah.
So because I made a lot of money from leaps, people think they can just hop into them right now.
Yeah.
They don't realize I'm taking profits from leaps I've been in since 2022, 2023,
Yeah.
2024.
Right.
See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I literally waited out my 2 year, 3 year contracts.
Right.
So and I did that on purpose because now I have proof. Now I have data. Now I have the balls. You need all of that to get in leaps because let's just say, because the beautiful thing about leaps is if you get in on the right time, you can double, triple, quadruple your money, 5 times your money.
Yeah. And
So
there's been a
next-
lot of opportunity too. Robinhood, Palantir.
Next time I'm putting maybe
Amazon.
4 million.
Really?
I'm
In
putting
elite?
up. Well, so you got to think. I turned most of the leaps I bought went from 10,000 to 100,000, 50,000, 30,000.
I've been seeing that.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'm like,
So if I would have
yeah.
put in 100 in all of those instead of 10,000,
Yeah.
but hindsight is 2020,
Right. Yeah.
I would be up, just putting up 1M because I put up just 100 and that turned into 400.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, there's somebody I follow on Twitter. He's got like $12 million in his Robinhood account just on mostly leaps, which is
Right.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy to see because I didn't know people were actually
But
investing.
I know
in
you're
leap
talking
at that
about, but he
size.
started with 6 million.
Yeah, I didn't know what he started with. Yeah,
Yeah, he
he
started
started
with
his
6.
son account too. You seen that?
Yeah.
Yep.
So like he started with 6 million.
Yeah.
I know who he is, and it's pretty dope strategy. But he actually sells options.
Yeah, he does
Like, he
cash
doesn't-
secured puts and
all of that.
Yeah,
So he's not doing like traditional leaps like we're doing.
yeah,
So like he doubled his 6 million. But then people gotta ask, where did the 6 million come from? 'Cause we forget
Yeah.
that part. Like
right.
every time I see
I
somebody,
don't know where it came from. I feel like
generational wealth.
Okay,
But one thing
yeah.
but here's the thing. I'm not saying that not
Right,
I'm saying
right.
that's good, but what I'm
Yeah,
saying
yeah.
is if I see somebody with 12 million, they started with 6.
Yeah.
I want to know where the 6 came from before I know how you made it to the 12.
Facts, yeah, because I didn't know how he got to the 12. I thought it had grew over time.
Yeah, I saw it. Yeah, but even then, like that's a great example of the leverage of long dated options.
Yeah,
I feel like if you got a lot of money, for one, he knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
See what I'm saying? It's a difference. If you got a lot of money, leaps. If you got a little money, then you got to swing options and hustle to get that leverage. Because you need about, in my opinion, you need about, at minimum, at least like a 40,000 to even be talking about some leaps.
Oh, really? You think so?
To think you about to go turn into a 300, 200, 400. You
Right.
know what I'm saying?
Yeah, definitely.
Because if you put 40,000, if you would have put 40K just in the video, that would have turned into, honestly, probably like a meal or two.
Wow. Just off the leaps.
Hold on. I turned 10,000 into 140K. So if I would have put 40,000 into that, you would have made about 600,000.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy. But the wildest part is there's a lot more stock opportunities like that too, right? Like versus, we were talking about crypto a little bit earlier. Like versus crypto is like, you got to really be in the know. You really got to watch crypto all the time, and it's not always opportunities like that. But with stocks, these are actual companies that you can really invest into, shares or options long term.
But you gotta. So here's the thing. Hindsight's 2020. I used to do. I ran my Leap account like I ran my stock portfolio.
Yeah.
So I'ma just go 100,000, 10,000 in my favorite Leap. That's the best way to do it.
Gotcha.
As a beginner. So if you got 10,000, 1,000 into your favorite setups.
Gotcha.
And 10 of them. But what's gonna happen is, here's the funny part. What's gonna happen is 6 of them gonna blow. 4 of them not.
Right.
And then you gonna wish those 4, you would have just put it all into those 6.
Yeah.
See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So hindsight 2020, I'm like, yes, I'm gonna diversify, but I'm gonna diversify and go heavy on the ones that I know for sure has a 5x. So
potential.
so one of my favorites right now is probably Lyft.
Yeah, you were telling me that Lyft, right?
I think Lyft is the next coming leap.
Yeah.
Because they're about to be profitable, and they're following Uber's business model.
Okay.
So if there's a Bitcoin, there's an Ethereum. If there's a Coke, there's a Pepsi.
Right.
If there's a Nvidia, there's an AMD. So that means that there's a Uber, there's a Lyft.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I already know Uber to me is worth, right now it's at like $75. To me is going to hit 200, 300.
Right.
And the reason why I say that is because they added something new called freight, where they're allowing truck drivers to dispatch using the Uber app.
Okay. Yeah.
Then they got the boat rides.
I don't think I've seen that.
Yeah, but in certain countries.
Yeah. Okay.
Then they have the Uber Eats, and then they have the ride share. But the ride share was never profitable. That's why they was losing a lot of money.
Right.
So they diversified.
Okay.
So all Lyft has to do. So Uber went from negative $9 billion 3 years ago to now positive. And then they went positive 1.4, I think in 2023, and in 2024 they're positive like 4.4 billion.
Okay.
So they went from negative 9 billion to 1.4 billion to 4.4 billion. So I'm expecting Lyft, but Lyft
Right.
is losing less money year over year. So they went from like negative 1.5 billion like 4 years ago to now negative 65 million.
Okay.
See what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
imagine if your company was losing less and less and less money. That's actually good.
Yeah.
Correct?
Yep.
So Lyft is losing less and less money, and this is the zero line of profitability. So once Lyft breaks that zero line, that's a breakout.
Right.
So people don't know fundamentals have breakouts too, which is, going profitable.
Right.
So Lyft is going to go, and I love when companies go profitable. Like Planetary Tech went profitable. Look what happened.
Yep. Yeah.
And that's the reason I even bought LTR.
Yeah.
Long. And I made about 70 grand off of it. I should have went more.
Yeah.
Hindsight 2020. But now, based on what I know now, I'm like, okay, Lyft, I see it doing what Uber and Lyft, and I told people this.
Yeah.
I did it on the YouTube. I like, Uber is going to explode. And I said, buy that on the dip. I bought shares. I just bought in some more too, right before it took off a little bit. And yeah, so leaps to me, but it's only when a recession happens.
Oh,
So you
so
can't. It's no point. You're going to find some good leaps during it, but you got to know
right.
what you're doing.
Yeah, yeah.
But if you want Nvidia, Apple, Google, Meta, you got to wait for a recession.
Right, yeah.
That's where you're going to make them M's off them leaps.
Yeah, yeah,
Them
but
more them
even we
hundred
had a pullback
thousands.
the other day, right? With the deep seek news,
That's
like
not good enough for a leap.
it's not good enough.
No.
The Leafs didn't drop that much, even with a 20% pullback.
Nah, they didn't drop that much.
Oh wow.
Like, but here's the thing: we need a recession.
Yeah,
You get what I'm saying? So that's what I'm saying. It's gonna be a lot of people who lose money because a lot of people buying Bitcoin at 90K or 100K. It's a lot of people buying leaps right now
Yeah.
on Meta and Nvidia.
yeah.
And you get what I'm saying? And what's gonna happen is they're not gonna take profits.
Okay, I can see that. Yeah. So
See what I'm saying?
so what type of like I guess discount do you want to see on the stock before you buy a Leaf?
I need SPY to be in a recession, a bear market.
Okay,
So SPY. So SPY is in a bear market into 20%.
got you.
See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Until it's a 20% drop from the most recent high.
Okay,
And then I need other companies to fall 50% or more.
okay.
You're looking for at least a 50% drop in the company
Right.
and more.
To
Other
get
than
into the
that,
Leafs.
yes.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I just bought some Leafs today, so I'm like,
You need an exaggerated drop. Not
Yeah.
you need one of them drops like, whoa, did hell just happen?
Yeah, yeah.
If it ain't like that, that's when I bought leaps.
Okay.
I bought leaps when everybody thought hell had came.
yeah,
Like the world is about to end.
yeah, yeah.
I'm not touching shit until people start thinking the world about to end.
Okay.
But that takes patience. See, I'm an investor. I know to be patient. A person who's going to hop in the game is going to be impatient because they want to hurry up and make the gains that they saw somebody who was patient make. The only reason I made them gains because I waited 4 years for them.
Right.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, that makes sense.
So that's all I'm trying to say. I be telling new investors, don't do it, don't do it, don't do it. I already know they're not gonna listen.
Right.
But when all of them go, they're all gonna lose money, coming in the near future. And I'm sitting on cash, a lot of cash right
Yeah.
now, waiting for the drop.
Yeah. Okay. So you're like Warren Buffett right now. You're just sitting on cash, waiting for a big pullback.
So I'm 80% cash, 20% exposed.
Oh wow.
So I'm letting everything run on
Yeah.
the 20% of my portfolio and 80% cash ready to leverage into crypto and stocks all over again. So the rich sell at highs
Yeah.
and wait for the dip to buy back in.
Right.
And if you really advance, you buy puts too.
Right.
You
Exactly.
make money on the way down too. So hey, maybe I'm a little advanced too.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So what's one piece of advice that you can give to people to get to where you are today?
As an investor, a mogul, or what?
Anyway, investor, mogul.
Investor, which
Yeah.
one?
Investor.
Investor, time in market, studying and continue to study and never get comfortable and always feel like you can improve every single day. 7.5 years of me trading, I still feel like I can improve. I still feel like I can be more disciplined. I still feel like I can do better on risk management. I still feel like I could all of that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And you get better and better. You know what I'm saying? So just be willing to take the journey. Don't compare your chapter 1 to someone's chapter 10. Scale up slowly. Try to make $100 a day. Then try to make $200 a day. Because $100 a day is $25K at the end of the year. $200 a day is $50K because there's 250 trading days in a year. $400 a day is $100K at the end of the year, right? So all you gotta do is make $400 in one day. You made $400 before,
Yeah.
right? So making $400 in option trading is easy.
Yeah.
But being able to stay consistent with that is hard because
Right.
people get greedy and they're going to lose 800 trying to consistently make 400 if they don't use risk management right. And they may make their 400 be like, but I want to go for 8 today.
Right.
So that's where the discipline comes in of,
Gotcha.
okay, let me stick to the plan. But a lot of people don't want to stick to the plan. So option trading is really not about, because you can learn the candlesticks and still suck at trading because you have bad risk management.
Right. Yeah.
And you can have a great win rate, but still suck at trading because you always go heavy on the one you shouldn't have. So
Right.
trading is very, very, it's a game of balance and it's a game of discipline. You get what I'm saying? Knowing when to walk away, having a system and being comfortable with walking away every single day. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So yeah.
Okay. So where can people find you at if they want to, follow you on Instagram or maybe join Honey Drip? Where can they find you at?
Aristotle underscore investments, and then Aristotle underscore investments, and then Honey Drip Network, and then follow me on YouTube, Honey Drip Network and Aristotle. And I drop game, I do market talk, stock Sundays, and I drop interviews from time to time, showing people my personality, and I might drop a live every once in a while. So it's just a nice place of just talking about the market, keeping people updated on the market, and sharing some of the plays that I see. And on stock Sundays, I have like a crazy win rate, like a over 80% win rate. So that's another reason why, and another reason I created stock Sundays too, was because I wanted to be able to show people proof of who I am. I want to call something on a Sunday. It's gonna go up this week. Then I'm going to show the money I just made.
Okay.
So that way you can never say I'm capped.
Right.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's dope. That's dope. All right. Well, this was definitely a dope episode of Day in My Tech Life. A little bit different, but I think people need to start investing their money, start diversifying. I've started to show people
Click
more
the link
about,
in her description. You know what I'm saying? So y'all can join Honey Drip
Yeah,
on her
yeah.
behalf. You feel me? Because she trading, and I'm
Yep.
teaching her too. So click the link in the description. Tap in.
Yeah, definitely. So that was another episode of Day in My Tech Life. Make sure y'all like, follow, subscribe, and catch y'all on the next one. We out.
100.